The earliest struggle I recall experiencing when I started learning Guilty Gear was understanding the logic behind button timing. Watching combo videos and high-level matches just heightened the mystique and made it all the more intimidating. I wondered to myself, how the hell does one retain all of those finely tuned sequences? Guilty Gear has plenty of exceptions to its own rules, but allow me to demystify the basic timing for nearly every combo hit. To better understand how links and cancels work, we first need to break down the basic anatomy of an attack. After we successfully input any attack, on the next frame, the attack will progress through 3 distinct stages. These stages are played out frame by frame, and they're commonly referred to as startup, active, and recovery. Startup is an attack's windup before it can connect with our opponent, which is often much longer for heavier attacks. The active stage is when our attack can actually hit something, mechanically represented as hitboxes. If our attack's hitbox overlaps our opponent's hurtbox during any active frame, they are hit. Recovery frames are what occur after the active frames have completed, a vulnerable state to largely avoid if we can. Most 2D fighters don't allow for canceling a whiffed attack, so recovery is what typically gets us punished for doing so. If a combo requires that we wait until our previous action has fully recovered before pressing the next button, we call it linking. Even though Xrd offers an input buffer leniency of 3 frames prior to any allotted button timing, linking can still be tricky. If we initiate the next input earlier than the 3 frames of leniency, our next attack will not register. If the input is too late, our opponent may recover before the next attack has time to complete its startup and connect. Linking is only necessary with invalid combos that lack a complete route of cancels. See that? The game briefly pauses after landing a hit to indicate when the next button should be pressed. That is called hit stop. Due to Xrd's input buffer, we should generally time the next button press as close to the beginning of hit stop as we can. If our character's kit allows for it, this should result in canceling the remaining frames of our previous attack. Due to this, hit stop will often be our signal to continue, also known as hit confirming. As early as the 1940s, practitioners of 2D animation have used a smear effect to create a clearer sense of motion. Between keyframes, animators will stylize in-betweens with a solid blur that represents several frames instead. Even artistic mediums comprised of still images have been known to utilize this effect, creating a more dramatic sense of pace. Every frame of animation in Xrd has been individually crafted in an effort to create a convincing imitation of hand-drawn cells. Limited frame animation, the smear effect, and many other tricks contribute towards Xrd's traditionally inspired aesthetic. These tricks exist not only to create improved visuals, but also to reinforce a much clearer communication of game state. Upon closer inspection, we can see the smear effect is primarily used to indicate the active frames of an attack. Combining hit stop with this added visual expressiveness gives us an even stronger confirmation signal to watch out for. With the exception of some specials, only normals can be cancelled meterlessly. If we have the meter to burn and no other choices, a red Roman cancel can often be used to extend our combos instead. This isn't always the best use of our resources, so it's usually a good idea to get a handle on what's freely available to us first. There's plenty of nuance to Xrd's combo mechanics. Read up on your main, or hop into training mode to discover what's possible.